Here in this page, I've got several black squares, and I want to talk about what's going on with color. Besides the color boxes and the control you have over here in the tools, when you look at the color palette, the swatches, and the gradients, I want to talk about how we use color in Illustrator. Now, notice I have the fill is forward and active, and it's black. And all of these, if I select all of these squares, they are now active and they're black. I could change them to green, I can change them to blue, I can change them to red. And since they're all active, they're not grouped together, but they all are selected and they're working. I'm going to go back to black over here. And there's no fill because I don't want to clutter up these images with an edge that I don't need. Now, over here in the color palette, you can see that there are sliders here, and there's percentage. It's 100% black. And see, if I pull this down to 50%, it's 50% of black or middle gray. If I go way down into the low teens, it's a very light gray, and if I go to no black, no percentage at all, then it's white. Now it is white, not nothing, but it's white. If I put a color background behind this, you would see that it's white. If I take another shape and put it here and make it green and put it behind, you can see that these are indeed white blocks, not any other color or nothing. Okay, now that green that I hit over here just randomly in the rainbow bar, this is just random selection to get sort of close because it's by no means really accurate. But whatever I hit, it's these bars represent C is cyan or blue, M is magenta or red, yellow is yellow, and K stands for black, not B for black because it could be blue or brown. Cmyk is what color organizations use in Illustrator because that's what printers use when they print for color process printing. They use just 4 inks, the cyan, the magenta, the yellow, the black, and that will produce by a combination of little ink dots all of the rest of the colors combined. Now let's take these percentages. In this case, there's 73% cyan, no percent magenta, 100% yellow, and 0% black. Let's do this again now. I got the background selected. Let's take the background out. Oops, just the background. Well, he did go away because those are white squares. Let's take all those squares, and I did a marquee around all the squares so they show up and make them black. Now notice in the color bar, nothing is here. If I make them nothing, they're nothing. I can make them a color and they're a color, or here's white and here's black, and it's black, 100% black, and no percent anything else. Now whether or not you ever mixed paint, I'm going to go to 0 on everything so it's white. If you mix paint, you know that if you mix some blue and some yellow, you're getting a green. If you mix all the blue and all the yellow, you're getting this color green. To make it even darker, you're going to add a bit of black to it, and it begins to darken the color down. So without saying, here we're going to talk about percentages all the time, but that is 100% cyan. Here's 100% red or magenta, and here's 100% yellow. If you want a beige color, then you back off to a low yellow and perhaps a touch of red. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about color mixing. This is something you'll have to get on your own experience. This isn't like mixing paint with pigments. It's mixing percentages with the electronic color that is in the monitor for televisions, but it does apply itself to printing because the printer will take your colors and readjust it to these percentages, and that's what he does with his dots when he's making full color printing. Now, let's say you want a dark navy blue. Okay, obviously you want all of the blue, and the yellow makes it more greenish, so let's take out the yellow and put in all the red. Now that's a blue, a dark blue, but not as dark as a dark navy blue. So add some black to that, and you see it's getting darker and darker into the navy blues. If you add all the black, then of course it just goes black. But maybe a 50% black against the blue and the red gives you a dark navy blue. If you make this color and you want to save it, if you go to your swatches, here's some preset colors. There's nothing, there's white, there's black, and there's some preset reds and orange and greens and blues, as well as some other presets. But if I wanted to save that navy blue, so it would be there when I open this page again, down here in this little page, it looks like a page with a corner turned up in the swatches area of the palette. If I click on that, it tells me what color I've got here. And if I wanted to give that a name, I could say just call it navy or navy blue. So I'll probably remember that with navy. But it is the CMYK color. Here are the percentages. And when I hit OK, you don't necessarily have to give it a name because you'll recognize the color probably. But when I hit OK, it shows up right here with a white box around it. That means it's a color that I have made custom. And when I go up and save this job, let's see if I say File, Save As, and I'm calling this Test 1. I'm going to call it Test 1B because Test 1 was something we had before where I'm showing you the perfect page. But Test 1B, or maybe I can say Test 1 Color. Whatever I put there, it reminds me what it's about. And I'm going to save it to my desktop, not to the Documents folder. And I hit Save. Now it's and it says I save it as Illustrator CS4. I OK that. And you see now it comes up and it changes its name to Test_1 Color. And that blue is now part of this document so that whenever I open this document up again, I get that blue back so I don't have to keep remaking it or seeking and looking for it. So color are defined in Illustrator as the CMYK colors. These sliders help you put together and mix and match. If you want to get just a quick color, say I want this I want it to be this orange right here. Bang. See, they all are selected so they can be that orange. But if I want it to be maybe a little lighter orange, I come here and I slip out some of the magenta and it gets a little lighter. And maybe I even take down some of the yellow and it gets even lighter. So you can adjust this as needs be. Now, if I want to remember the use of the group select tool, these aren't group selected, so I can take my black arrow and I can select individual colors. And I can come here and say I want that to be that color. And I can come to this one and say I want it to be that color. And I can come to this one and say I want it to be that color. I'm just making random choices here. But there you can go in and these are not grouped together, but you can go in and make choices. If they were grouped, if I put a marquee around all of them and hit Command G, Command key and the G key for group, now they are grouped so that when I select one, I get them all. But here with the white arrow with the plus, I can still go in and select that one and change its color, and that one and change its color. So that now when I select it with the black arrow, I get everything. When I select it with a white arrow with a plus, I get just the one I select. If I select it with a white arrow, I get just the one I selected, but not, and I can change its color, but the effect is that I'm still selecting a unit within a unit, and the white arrow with the plus is actually a better choice because I can see what I'm doing and I can follow my rules of selection. Now there's a lot more color to come, and as we go through projects we will talk about colors. I have yet to tell you about gradients and use of multiple colors, but the color sliders and the color swatches are going to be palettes you'll use a lot as you go through and mix and match and produce the color things that you want to use.